A contagious emergency outside Grant Medical Center prompting quick action by health officials concerned about possible Ebola. Good evening. I'm Dwayne Pullman. Cabot has the night off.
I'm Colleen Marshall. Thanks for being with us at 6. Medics picked up that patient at an apartment building on South 6th Street this afternoon. NBC4 has team coverage of this breaking news story. We are live outside the apartment, but first we're going to get right to Candace Lee. She's live at the hospital tonight with the latest details on the patient. Candace?
Yeah, Colleen, I can tell you that NBC4 has learned that that patient was brought here to Grant Medical Center. Neighbors tell us that the family had recently traveled to Africa. We were told by Chief Tracy Smith with Columbus Division of Fire that that patient had complained of flu-like symptoms. Once that patient was dropped off, fire officials launched their decontamination team, setting up in the alleyway at 6th and Chapel Streets here at Grant to clean the ambulance and decontaminate the medics and other materials that came into contact with that patient. Chief Smith says it's standard protocol when a contagious disease is suspected in a patient. Columbus public health officials won't say much about the patient, but confirmed to NBC4 that of the 36 people that they are currently monitoring after they took trips abroad, just one has been admitted to the hospital. Communications Director Jose Rodriguez says these evaluation admissions often take 72 hours, and there is no guarantee that the patient will require any testing for Ebola. Now, no one else in the home was complaining of these flu-like symptoms, and fire officials have since cleared the scene and reopened 6th and Chapel Streets here at Grant Medical Center once that decontamination process was completed. Let's head over now to NBC4's Salt Brown, who was at the scene when those paramedics arrived at that home. Salt?
Candace, when I got here, there were 3 medics and a couple of EMS people and a fire truck. What they were doing was taking their time to deal with the situation. They got hazmat suits on, and eventually took this person to Grant Hospital in an ambulance. It's sort of standard operating procedure. Now, neighbors have told me that they had heard that this family had traveled to Africa since got back, and one of the members did have some symptoms that was the reason why they were transported. That's about all we have from here. Back to you.
It's our photographer, Salt Brown. Salt, thank you so much for that update. The symptoms of Ebola can easily be mistaken for respiratory illnesses like a cold or a flu. NBC4's Ellie Merritt has more on the testing and the treatment for this highly contagious virus. Ellie?
Well, public health officials have been clear that Ebola cannot be picked up through sneezing or coughing like a cold or the flu, but the symptoms do look a lot like the flu. According to the CDC, symptoms of Ebola include fever, severe headaches, muscle pain, weakness, fatigue, vomiting, or abdominal pain, and then that telltale sign of unexplained bleeding. Symptoms can show up anywhere from 2 to 21 days after exposure. The average, though, is 8 to 10 days. And the treatment so far, a lot like the flu as well. Supportive care, helping with breathing and fluids. Testing for Ebola is done here in Ohio through the state health department. You might remember it was last October when a Texas nurse exposed to Ebola visited northeastern Ohio. She made a full recovery. 122 people, though, in Summit and Cuyahoga counties were monitored. Luckily, nobody contracted that disease. Colleen?
All right, thank you, Ellie. We will be following this story tonight. You can check for updates at NBC4i.com, and we will have more information there as well about Ebola.